End of the world? When NASA predicts Earth will be swallowed by a raging gas ball. Astonishing astronomy. Filmora Express UK. NASA. New facts. Believes life on Earth will be wiped out, as NASA says, in the distant future after a shocking event from deep space reaches us. And this is according to the Cox documentary. The Sun, as we know, is the star at the center of our solar system. A perfect sphere of hot plasma. It's the most important source of energy for life on our planet. Roughly 3/4 of its mass consists of hydrogen and the rest is mostly helium. Though it has not changed dramatically for more than 4 billion years, NASA scientists believe the Sun is roughly halfway through its life cycle at this point. It currently fuses about 600 million tons of hydrogen and turns it into helium every single second. It converts 4 million tons of matter into energy every second as a result. But Brian Cox, the cosmologist, physicist, warns during his BBC series Empire of the Sun what could happen to the Sun in the future, and of course it'll have an effect on us. He said in this series 2010, the Sun will spend most of its life on the main sequence, steadily burning its vast reserves of hydrogen fuel that will last for at least another 5 billion years. But eventually, the fuel will run out and its core will collapse. That's when things change drastically. One day, it will become a red giant. Something remarkable will happen. The Sun's outer layer will expand and its color will shift. Mercury will be little more than a memory as it is engulfed in the expanding red Sun. Dr. Cox explained how the Sun will expand to become a red giant and swallow everything in its path. He said it will grow to 200 times the size that it has today. It'll stretch all the way out to the Earth's orbit, where our own planet's prospects are, of course, dim. He says the wonder that has remained so constant throughout all of its 10 billion years of life will end its days as a red giant star. For a few brief instances, it will be 2,000 times as bright as it is now, but that won't last for long. Eventually, it'll shed its outer layers, and all that will be left will be its cooling core, a faint cinder that will glow pretty much to the end of time. Dr. Cox explained how this could mean the end of life, of course, as we know it here on Earth. He said all its wonders, the aurora that dance through the atmospheres of planets of the solar system, and its light that sustains all the life of our planet here on Earth, of course, will be gone. But the gas and dust of this dying star, the Sun, will drift into space in time to form a vast dark cloud, primed and full of possibilities, until one day another star will be born, perhaps with a similar story to tell, the greatest story of the cosmos. End quote. Wow. Okay. Yes, yesterday it was revealed how NASA made a puzzling find on Neptune during Voyager's program. Brian Cox explained during a new BBC series, The Planets, how violent storms were spotted on the surface of Venus. He said last month, over the years, we've been observing more storms raging on the planet. It's one of the great mysteries of planetary exploration. Why a planet so far from the Sun, with so little energy, failing into its atmosphere, falling from the Sun, the sunlight, can have the most extreme winds in the solar system. Yet Voyager made yet another puzzling discovery. Although further from the Sun, the planet is warmer than Uranus. The source of this extra heat remains a mystery to the astronomers, the physicists, the cosmologists. Why is it warmer than Uranus? What's the source of the heat? Now, since astronomers know that, of course, this is going to be a problem in the future, there are those who have come up with the idea that we could perhaps move Earth's orbit to escape the dying sun. This is what a space engineer has recently come up with. This is on Futurism by Dan Robitsky. So the ticking time clock of the cycle of our sun's life. The sun will begin to die, expanding, incinerating the Earth in its death throes. That's not for a while, of course, but humans left will need to plan well in advance if they want to escape this cosmic obliteration. So the best bet, they think, is migrating to another planet, according to an essay by Glasgow space engineer Matteo Cerotti in The Conversation. But with enough planning, he argues it could be possible to push Earth's orbit around the sun to a safe distance where the explosion won't reach us. How are you going to do this? Space travel technology will presumably improve over the next 5 billion years, but Cerotti ran the numbers based on today's standards. To propel our Earth out to the distance of Mars orbit using state-of-the-art SpaceX Falcon Heavy boosters, for example, humanity would need to mine 85% of the planet's mass in order to build enough rockets, 300 billion of them, to push the remaining 15% of the planet out. So it's a tough choice. Other proposals are like using nuclear bombs or nearby satellites to propel Earth as we might an approaching asteroid, where we're actually equally impractical. Cerotti argued that yet undeveloped laser thrusters or using gravity of passing asteroids to slingshot Earth away from the sun might be more successful than using Falcon Heavy boosters about the size of a nickel. 2, most massive. The sun is the center of our solar system. It makes up 99.8% of the mass of the entire solar system. Number 3, different spins. At the equator, the sun spins about once every 25 days, but at its poles, the sun rotates once on its axis every 35 days. Number 4, can't stand on it. As a star, the sun is a ball of gas, 92.1% hydrogen, 7.8% helium, held together by its own gravity. Number 5, it's ringless. The sun does not have any rings. 6, understudy. Many spacecraft constantly observe the sun, helping us keep an eye on space weather that can affect satellites and astronauts. 7, energy for life. Without the sun's intense energy, there would be no life on Earth. 8, nuclear fusion. The sun's core is about 27 million degrees Fahrenheit. That's 15 million degrees Celsius. 9, it's moonless. Orbited by 8 planets, at least 5 dwarf planets, tens of thousands of asteroids, and up to 3 trillion comets and icy bodies. And number 10, what we see, the sun's visible surface sometimes has dark sunspots, which are areas of intense magnetic activity that can lead to solar explosions. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.